The economic freedom fighters have elected their leaders for the top 6 positions in the party. Party President Julius Malema retained his position for a 3rd time. Marshal Dlamini and Omphile Maotwe also returned to their positions of Secretary General and Treasurer General, respectively. Newcomers include Godrich Gadi as Deputy President, Noluthando Notshuku as National Chair, and Leigh-Ann Mathys as Deputy Secretary General. Now, all candidates were nominated and elected unopposed. Let's discuss this now with political analyst Kenneth Mokgatle, who joins us now virtually. Kenneth, good morning. Welcome to Newzroom Afrika.
Good morning, Machab, and to the viewers at home. Thanks for having me.
Firstly, your initial thoughts on the EFF's newly elected top 6 leadership.
I think, firstly, it's commendable on the issue of gender parity. So they have got about 50% of women in the top 6, something that is very rare in many political formations in the country. And I think, secondly, they are not purely new because most of them have been there before. We remember Godrich Gadi is the former Secretary General of the EFF, and then Leigh-Ann Mathys was there also as the Deputy Secretary in the past, and then Noluthando Notshuku have been in the executive of the EFF, and she's serving as the member of parliament. So they are not completely new in the organization. They've been there in different responsibilities. So I think they are the people who are familiar with the organization, and they will continue with its organizational culture.
And how do you think the new leadership will impact the party's direction going forward?
I think the defections that we have been seeing in the recent past will continue, especially with the noticeable absence of one of the senior leaders in the EFF, Dr. Noluthando Notshuku. I think they will come out of the conference more divided than they were before because they are afraid or they don't want to confront issues that are affecting the organization. They don't want to talk about them, even when they are asked about the reasons why Dr. Noluthando Notshuku is not present at the conference. They do not want to give an honest answer to that question. Sometimes they do that emotionally. We've seen on Saturday when the party leader Julius Malema was confronting that question. But when you look at the Secretary General was Marshal Dlamini, and he continues to take to take the reign. I don't think there will be much impact because it means that in the past 5 years he has not been really able to keep the party intact to ensure that the structures in the ground continues to grow. And if we are continuing to see the defections and the divisions, so it means that there's a problem with the office of the Secretary General, especially also with the recent electoral decline. So it means that the party should do something to grow its strength on the ground. And then when you look at Godrich Gadi, we know that many of the people who are in the top 6 are very much close to Julius Malema. So I don't think it will impact the party. I don't think they will be able to confront issues because they will be afraid to raise issues that differ with the party leader. Now, that is why they are comfortable with him coming in.
On that note, with the top 6 leadership being filled without any contest, is Julius Malema driving the party alone?
Indeed, he is, and it has been visible over the past few years because people who left the party now, they were not really in the same line with him in many views. They differed with him in many views. Hence, they left the party, and they knew that when they raised, or if they could raise issues within the party, they were going to be unpopular. Today, we've seen the likes of Sihle, who is the leader of EFF Student Command. They are in public spat with the former leader of the party, again, Floyd Shivambu, simply because they want to show loyalty to Julius Malema. So those who don't do that will not get into good books of the party leader, Julius Malema. So those who are with him in the top 6 seems to be aligning very well with him. And people like Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, we know he's very close to Floyd Shivambu, and that is why he's not in good books with the party leader Julius Malema. And I think something very soon will happen. I think Mbuyiseni Ndlozi is in his way out of the party. Will soon know his future endeavors.
All right. So, I mean, there was a very interesting turn of events. There's a lady by the name of Umulebo who basically nominated herself as deputy president. What underlying message do you think she was trying to send, essentially, by doing that?
I think what she was simply saying was that people should not be afraid to keep their opinions out in the public, to keep their feelings out in the public. Because when you look at all the positions, they were uncontested, and it was only her. Unfortunately, she did not reach the threshold, the nomination threshold. But she was showing bravery, something that many of the delegates did not do. So I think it also helps other people who attended the conference to boost or to improve their confidence in that in the next meetings of the party, they will be able to raise issues themselves, issues that they were afraid to raise. So it's something very commendable, something that is not so common in the EFF setting. People are suppressing their views because they are afraid of the national leadership. We've seen in the past people have been expelled for being labeled as not as contributed to electoral decline. We know that in many provinces the party have promised to punish them for accusing them for not helping the party to perform much better. And we know that many councillors, many employees of the party were fired because they failed to buzz the supporters to the previous 10-year anniversary of the party. So people are afraid to be expelled from the party, hence they are keeping quiet. You are also seeing Mbuyiseni Ndlozi keeping quiet. It's only his supporters who are very critical about what is happening in the EFF, but he's keeping quiet. He's not saying anything about what is happening in the party.
And when Malema was asked about Ndlozi's absence, he told the journalists not to ask about Ndlozi again, as they're not interested in talking about an individual. Do you think that this response was a deliberate attempt to downplay the significance of Ndlozi's absence?
Indeed, what he was doing was that he was undermining the influence of Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. But what he does not know is that Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi is the most senior leader in the party, and he was also the spokesperson of the party, which brings him to be the image of the party then, and he continues to play a very critical role in the organization. So he wields a very a big influence in the party. So if he is to leave the party, it will be the final straw to Julius Malema. That is what he knows for sure. That if Mbuyiseni is to leave the party, it will be the last straw to him. The same way it happened on the former deputy president Floyd Shivambu. So many people with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. So they have to really try to hold him into the organization so that he does not leave. Because if he is to leave, he will further heighten the divisions within the party and the defections to other parties, especially the MK. So Mbuyiseni Ndlozi is he will really kill the EFF, we have to say.
All right. So, Kenneth, what are the key challenges that Noluthando Notshuku is likely to face as the EFF's national chairperson? How do you think she'll navigate these challenges?
I think because she has been there in the CCT, the Central Command team, so she understands the culture. She knows what is happening in the organization, and also we must remember that the role of the chairperson is mostly ceremonial. So she does not have a lot to do besides being in the meetings of the CCT, taking decisions on behalf of the branches, which she understands very well. So I don't think it will be difficult for her to navigate and adjust into the CCT because she has been there before. But this is her first time to be at the upper structure of the organization, the top six. So I don't think she will find it very difficult to navigate.